Okay, so this is just a quick video on what seems to have been the problem with my Polaris P40 Quattro pool cleaner. I had an issue where when I looked upside down here, I noticed that only one of my impeller would actually grab the gearbox. The other one would float freely. I assumed I was just going to replace my impeller, which the instructions for that are typically, which I was able to find, is to line up these arrows and then don't use the two holes, but rather the hole right here, and you'll notice in there is a screw that you loosen, and those are supposed to pop right out. Well, of course mine didn't pop right out. So versus wrenching and prying at it until I broke something, I figured I'd take the next step and take the casing off. So I took out the filter basket, and then you've got 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull those out. They're a little tight. My casing didn't come off right away either. I just tipped it on its side to look underneath just one more time, and when I came back around, it loosened it up enough, and I was able to pull it off. And in doing so, I took a look at my wheel here and said, okay, well, this turns it. Well, actually, I went back down here. I spun my propeller, and I saw, okay, well, that's spinning freely. Let me, what happens if I spin my other one? Now I get a little pushback. I can actually feel that churning my gear and everything else. And a further examination, if you look right here, I would just call this my shaft. The pull turbine shaft here is cracked completely through. So the impeller is fine. It just won't grab. Doesn't work. It just only runs one side. So that's why it's likely been falling off my wall and going upside down and what have you. This is what I'm hoping. So I'm going to try to go online, either find this piece, or if I can dry it off, I might even see if I've got some super strong adhesive to fix it myself. I've got to see what I'm in for. But I see a couple screws here that I'm going to take out, and I'll keep you posted as we go. Okay, so we've now removed 8, or loosened 8 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And after a little bit of back and forth, it seems that this guy is going to finally come out for me. Obviously, I want to watch my gearboxes, and out we are. Okay, now I'll investigate further and get back to you. Okay, so we've got our new part, got shipped to determine this was not a fixable part, if I didn't touch on that in the previous video. So we've got a brand new drive assembly here that we're just going to pop this fella back out. Again, you know where our screw locations are, and I'm just going to simply swap the new one back in, make sure all my gear drives aligned back up, and then we should be in business. I'll check back in once that's done. Okay, I've now got it unpackaged, and one thing you want to make sure of, it's kind of hard to miss, but it's still worth noting that you want to align this thing. It's only got one difference really, and otherwise it would be completely symmetrical, but it's got an additional gear housing over here that you're going to want to make sure it lines up with this particular assembly. Otherwise it's just likely not going to fit. So here we go. Okay, so now I've seated the new assembly in position. I've not screwed it down yet. And the reason why I want to just do a quick call out, again, of course, make sure the teeth are in the right grooves as they relate to the other gears. But then also over here to the right hand side, when you first install this, there's a part here that might be not in that groove like that. And that's okay. You just simply pick it up and you'll work it in there and it slides in like you need to. And then now I'm going to go ahead and put in all the screws and then just check for proper functionality, and if so, we'll put the case back on and see if we're in business. Okay, so now we're fully installed. I'll make a suggestion. I'm not sure if it makes a difference or not. I just, especially when dealing with gear teeth, when screwing these in, I would kind of do a back and forth as to kind of get it down equally, similar to what you might do for your lug nuts in a tire, just not all at the same time, so make they both kind of went down evenly. And now we can just check for functionality, and sure enough, we've got engagement, because you can see the whole thing is indeed spinning. So we should be good. We'll test it out. This is seated. Then we've got our 4 screws to put back in. And we seem to have proper functionality. So, I've got a dirty pool. We'll check back in here a couple hours and see how we're looking again. But this was seemingly a relatively easy fix. I didn't find any video on it online, so hopefully this might help somebody else that needs more of a visual for it. Thanks, bye.